What up? J. Marcell here. And what I'm going to talk about today is why I use the term mind over matter, because matter don't matter. I want to get into that a little bit so you'll see where I'm coming from. That's not a statement that I'm just throwing out there. I want to give you my perspective on why I think and why I see and why I say mind over matter, because matter don't matter. Let me tell you why I use the term mind over matter, because matter don't matter. To be honest with you, from my perspective, this thing called life, the more you know about it, the more you actually get into the essence or the core of what life and this reality is about, the more you start to understand where its weaknesses and strengths at. To be honest with you, we're so used to looking at what we see in front of us as the all, or as being the greatest aspect of living and life, that we tend to forget that really, or don't realize that really, it don't carry a lot of value and a lot of weight. We already know this, because none of it, once you pass away, once you transition from this world to wherever you go next, you can't take none of this stuff with you. And none of it carries any value once you go. You can't even look back at this and say, well, when I was living, I achieved all of this and I acquired all of this, so it puts me in a better place when I leave here. No, it's just all fundamental toys for right here, right now. So how much value could it have? Rich people, you hear about rich people all the time having mental breakdowns and coming to realize that this shit wasn't all what they thought it cracked up to be. Now, we all want to get that paper. I feel you. I'm just like you. The more paper that I can get, the more things that I can do. So I ain't even trying to fake like I don't want no more dough. So that ain't what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if the things that you work hard to acquire are physical and you get them, you shoot for them, if they don't have no value for you when you leave here, how much do you put on? How much do you really should depend on? I mean, it's cool to have all you can get, but to down yourself or stress yourself about what you don't got, not good. And I'm gonna tell you about stressing yourself. You'll find out, and you may not understand it or may not pay attention to it or realize it or heard it, but your brain produces chemicals that are released in your body according to what you think. So if you're the type of person that you're going through something and you looking at it long term, continuously as a negative, your body is producing chemicals for that. Now the body will produce chemicals that's going to either help or hurt. The body is going to produce chemicals that's either going to help or hurt. This is where some diseases come from, stressing. I know a female friend of mine that have heard of females that stressed behind relationships that didn't go right, fell apart, marriages, whatever. Developed sicknesses that was amazing to me. Like, just because you went through that, then that transpired. And as I studied the story about it, it was telling me how they felt and thought and felt at that time. I now understood the cause. It's that serious. So if you're going through something, and it can be a challenge, easy said than done, I get it, but it's a challenge. The one thing I know though, one thing I do know is stressing or being down about it does not help. That is a fact. Stressing about it does not help. It can be a challenge. I'm seeing it from people close to me. I understand it, and I'm with them. But if the more you look at it, the more you take it in and ponder it, I know that's not going to help you. That's a fact. Now, if you can go get quiet, I'm not even going to tell you to go meditate. I'm not even going to say the prayer. Your choice. Your choice. Do it how you want to. But here's the key to this. If you go get quiet long enough times, and in your mind's eye, see it, address it, you might can change that. We know stressing ain't gonna help, but you might can change that. So here's what you need to do. You need to stop getting the mind to follow the body. You got to get the body to follow the mind. Your body will follow your mind. That's a fact. But it needs to be addressed quietly. You need to actually sit down with it and say, yo, this ain't me. This ain't what we do here. And you do it long enough, consistent enough, sincere enough, with enough faith to say, I'm not sitting here talking just because I'm crazy. No, I'm actually sitting here on purpose, addressing the inner core of me, my body, and saying, hey, we don't know. I'm not agreeing to this. I heard Dick Gregory said he pulled that off. I know Dr. Sabi pulled that off. So it's possible. This is why I say mind over matter, because matter don't matter. In actuality, what reality, physical reality, is made out of is really mostly energy balls, molecules, particles, protons, neutrons, electrons. All those are just energy balls of energy, moving and spinning around off of each other. And most of what they say is called matter is empty space. 99.99999% empty space. I know it's hard to fathom that, but check your science, see if I'm legit. Anything that I tell you, you can always go check it. I got no problem. And if you got a rebuttal or you want to rebuttal it, cool, let me hear that. But what you call physical reality is 99.9999% empty space. It's just that the particles and molecules, there's so many of them, and they so compressed together that it makes it seem like you living in a physical world. That's real. Now here's the one thing about it. Let's say I'm wrong. And let's say physical reality is the dominant force. Let's say physical reality dominates the spiritual realm. No sir, but let's say it do. When it's all come down to it, you still can affect it. Even if you don't know or think that your mentality is greater than the physical reality, you still carry the capacity to affect it. But the only way to affect it is to get quiet enough to quiet down the noise of the world, the noise of your life, shut it down, and go get quiet and address it. Now you can address it and call the term prayer, and you can call it meditation. The definitions for the word meditation means to get familiar with. The definition of meditation is to get familiar with. Get familiar with what? You get it familiar with an inner core you, a spiritual you, an energy you, an energetic you that you're not that familiar with because you're so used to looking at the you in the mirror and relating it to this physical world. So you're going to have to sit down and get quiet. Now, like I said, if you take it in prayer form, you still going to, in prayer means you still going to have to sit down, shut the world out, stop all your thoughts from coming in so that you can direct a particular thought in the direction that we call God. In the spiritual world, spirit is the same thing, flip-flop for the word energy, universe. But if you need the term spiritual, cool, but it's the same thing as energy, universe, same thing. But you're still going to have to, so meditation does the same thing, and prayer going to do the same thing. Sit down, get quiet, shut out the noise of your world, shut out the noise of your problems, and and address something that's get quiet. Use your thoughts, using your thoughts to address something or ask or request for something and taking your attention and focusing on it. And remember, when you pay attention to something, where attention goes, energy flows. Fact. Where attention goes, energy flows. Everything is all energy. So the name of the game is, first of all, have no fears, man. Have no fears. This world loves to toss fears at you. Like I said, man, you let me tell it, that whole C19 thing, you know what I'm talking about, that whole C19 thing was fear-based. I saw some of the best that I've known panic and shake and rattle behind them. So that, you let me tell it, that was mostly fear-based. Now look at everybody calm and they okay now. Had y'all shook for 2 years behind them. You can't be shook like that. You're not installing fear into me. That's why I said your mind is critical. Your mind is more powerful than anything out here. People that you hear say that, they're not just talking. They're not just saying to be saying it. I ain't. Anything that you hear me say, I can prove it. Or I can tell you, try this, and it'll prove it for you. I don't say nothing that can't stand on its own. If I say something, and I put it out there, I can walk off. Let it stay out there in the atmosphere. People can pick at it, say they don't like it, they don't agree to it, and say it's some BS. All you want to, I guarantee you, you try it, or you look close enough, you'll see it stand up on its own, because it's the truth. The truth don't need nobody to hold it up and support it. The truth can stand on its own. So when I tell you, mind over matter, because matter don't matter, that's me trying to help you condition your mind to understand that anything that transpires in this physical world, if I go sit down and get quiet enough and just know everything is going to be okay, and know it long enough, I don't need to, if you don't feel it good enough the first time, when you do it again. Do it the next day, but don't go with fears. If you're going to do it repeatedly, don't go with fears, don't go with doubts, none of that. Just go and say, I bet this can work. Yeah, I bet this, I'm going to be all right. Even the book said if you had enough faith as a mustard seed, you know how small a mustard seed is? Just the small size of a mustard seed. That ain't requiring a lot. But if you catch doubt creeping in now, you got to push it out. Remember, you got 16 to 17 seconds before, if you let a negative thought come in, you got to push them out. The name of the game is to get the negative thought out of the way, or to get the positive thoughts to outweigh the negative. See, if the negative thoughts about whatever you're dealing with is heavier or has more weight or bigger than the positive, guess what the outcome going to be? Got no choice but to go towards the negative. But if you put more of the positive, then you got negative, it must shift. Fact, make logical sense, don't it? So, the name of the game is to sit down, get quiet, and start to tell yourself, whatever you're dealing with, it's all right. I ain't gonna, listen, I'm not gonna tell you it's easy. I'm not gonna tell you I've mastered it. I'm telling you the rules to the game out here, to thinking in life, and these are the rules that we need to be going by that they did not put in school. And they will not teach you in no church or no building, synagogue, whatever. They're not going to tell you these things. These were things that we should have been raised up on as kids. That let me let you understand the strength of your mind and your imagination. And let me let you know that even though you see in a physical world, your mind is greater than the physical world that you see. And this world and reality is built on electricity and magnetism, which brings things into reality. I would get real scientific on metaphysics, and no, I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna break them. I'm gonna leave it in layman's terms. We'll get down that road later. But I say mind over matter because no matter what you're facing, I don't care what's in your face. From this point here, from this point right now, let's say whatever you've been dealing with up until now, up until right now, you've been thinking of it as negative, it's been rocky, it's been rough, and it looked down, and it has you weighing heavy, it's been weighing heavy on you, and it brought you down. If you change right now, if you switch up right now, and say, you know what, whatever, dog, I'm good, and hold that, and let the positive of that outweigh the negative that you don't want to hear, I guarantee that it'll change. That's why I say mind over matter, because matter don't matter. This reigns supreme. You just got to condition it to look at things from a different perspective so you would know how to believe that it's real and it'll work. You just got to also know that you as a being have power. We wasn't taught that. Church don't even teach that. Nobody teaches, yo, you know you're a being that with a mental capacity that can overcome and go through anything and can change anything for your good. It may take time, but if you recondition your brain and change the program that you've been running all these years and condition it to something new, that you can change and alter this. So I am here to help drop enough info. I'm not as great as the info that I drop. Know that. These rules and principles and thinking and thought mathematics, I'm not as great as they are. I just see them, hear them, realize them, spit them back out to you. But I'm legit, so I ain't really copying. I'm not copying off of nobody. I'm not mimicking nobody. None of that. I don't do that. I don't know how to do that. I just know how to be me. But I know it's real. I know it works. So now you get a bit. I wanted to do this video because I wanted people to understand that. Why does he say mind over matter? Because matter don't matter. To me, when I face something, now maybe in the beginning it might rock me in the beginning, but once I sit down, the longer I sit and get quiet about it and look at it and stand back, the more it just starts to level right on out. I said, okay, cool. That's why I say, don't let nothing trick you in the beginning. The way something look, feel, and act will trick you and tell you it's a bad situation. But if you wait and you chill, the quicker you can wait and chill, the quicker you can see it turn in your favor. It may take a minute, maybe not, but you can defy it and you can make it go in your direction. I promise you by what you're thinking. That's a fact. So no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you see cross your path, don't never think that you don't have what it takes to flip that. It may look, the world may say, you can't do that. That's not possible. Here's what I learned too. If the whole world wanted you to not have your dream come true, check this out. If the whole world could wish that your dream could not come true, do you know they still couldn't stop it? They don't control your aspect of reality and what you want to experience. They don't control that. They can hate on it, and they can not want it to be want it to happen and not want it to be. But the whole world couldn't stop you from realizing what you wanted to realize. No doctor, no coach, no job, nobody. No doctor can tell you, hey man, I see no hope in this. I don't know how you're gonna make it. According to our statistics, this is the way that goes. Give up. You ain't telling me that. You ain't telling me that. You can tell me that, but man, you're crazy. I'm going home and going to work. If I do leave, or if I do check out, or if it do get that detriment, go down with me knowing that I made that attempt. I bet you that. I bet you that. The attempt thing don't cost you nothing. The attempt just says sit down and get quiet once a day, maybe twice a day, all depends on how you feel and what kind of time you got. And take a 30 minutes or an hour. Sit in it for an hour and just see it as good. Let's say 23 of the hours you've been thinking of it as bad. Let's just say for 23 of the hours you think of it as bad. Cool. Take one of those hours. Can't dedicate one? Take one of those hours and say, yeah, but I'm gonna look at it for the good. This hour, shit. Get that. I'm good, man. I done been through words. I done been through some things. I'm built for a tough. They got me misunderstood out here. Do that for an hour a day. Let's see what happens. Alright, y'all. I just wanted to drop that why I say mind over matter, because matter don't matter. I'll get back with you. You know my slogan. It's the same. Mind over matter, because matter don't matter.